You're listening to Two Vatos Talking. A podcast by two dads discussing life's challenges and blessings with the goal to create a sincere community for men. We're your co-hosts, Eduardo and Spencer.
Today we're going to talk about joy.
Okay.
Right? And as our listeners know, hopefully, that TVT BroTalk is a podcast designed, the idea is to create an uplifting community for men.
Yep.
And in all kinds of ways, but Ed and I have said this. It's also written in different places. We're not therapists or psychologists or counselors. We're just two dads trying to do our best to, help create a positive atmosphere for, in my case, my adult children, which is kind of an oxymoron. But my two adult daughters, and then Ed, his...
Well, they're still your kids, right? So
yeah.
It doesn't matter if they're adults, but sure, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
But today we're talking about joy.
I liked how you brought this topic up. So I guess you were looking at a New York Times article?
Yeah, so I like to read the New York Times, and there's a lot of good articles on there that have to do with mental health. This one was a little more simple, to the point. You don't have to be a therapist to understand what we're going to talk about today. It's titled The Good List, 6 Things to Add Joy to Your Day. It's by Melissa Kirsch. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It was published a couple days ago on April 8th in the New York Times. And she provides a list of just some things that brings joy to her life. So I thought, well, this is great because it's not about therapy. It's just about, maybe your day is just kind of ho-hum. Maybe it's kind of gray, monochromatic, whatever. And you just want something to sort of lift you up.
And it doesn't have to be a big thing, right? Like,
not at all.
We're not spending a bunch of money to go get a new wardrobe or, something like that. It's just a simple little things, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, they're either inexpensive or free. I thought we could each share some things that bring us simple joy, maybe on a daily basis or definitely a weekly basis. And it's a big mood booster.
So if you're okay, I'm going to start out with my first one.
Go for it.
All right. So as I was brainstorming for this is kind of a weird one, but I think it's kind of cool. And I haven't been doing it much lately, but it's actually going to the city dump and taking all the yard trash and taking the old stuff and just taking a bunch of garbage, right? And just loading it up in my truck. I found a lot of satisfaction in that. It was really weird.
Wait, are you dumping stuff or are you taking stuff?
Well, no, I'm taking it to the city dump.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Well, that's interesting. That is weird.
So a lot of it was yard debris or just old whatever. And then I would do it so often, and I started getting my son to go with me. And then I was like, hey, man, let's go. And it's hey, let's get the work gloves. Let's load up the truck. You got to strategically place stuff so it doesn't fly out. Strap it down if need be, and just load it up. And then we take a drive down to the dump, pull in, and then just take our time. I go, this isn't a race. Let's just unload, right? And it's just unloading. And then it's just at the end of it, I'm it feels really good. I don't know. That's maybe, I don't know. I don't know what you think about that.
Well, no, I think it's pretty cool. I'd ask if you're taking stuff to the dump or taking stuff from the dump because you are an artist.
Oh, no, yeah.
And then there's border art. There's this kind of lot of squatchy art, making something from nothing.
Yeah, recycling art and stuff.
Yeah. Upcycling.
I think they call it, I forgot what they call it, Rococo or something like that.
Okay, upcycling, recycling, yeah. No, actually, I think that's really good. In fact, my therapist has even encouraged me to get rid of stuff. There's something about
so
that. There's this release to why do I still have this shirt that I say, I might wear this shirt?
Well, that's a little different.
But no, you don't wear the shirt.
No, you don't. But that's a little different. That's from inside the house. But this is more physical, where you're just loading up a bunch of junk, right? And then I even spread it to my little girl. So it was me and my son, and I said, come on. And so I grab my daughter and I say, hey, you're going to go. And my son's like, yeah, Emma, you're going to see how this works. And so it's actually really cool. And I highly advise it. It's a stress reliever. You accomplish something. and then you just feel like satisfied at the end of it, you know?
So you're talking about yard waste?
Yard waste, or like behind my shed, I have like a bunch of like 2x4s and like old chairs that don't work anymore, and I just haven't gotten around to throwing it away. Or like my mom had an appliance that she just kept forever, and I was like, Mom, let me throw that appliance away. So just stuff like that, where you can't just put it outside in the front curb. You know, you have to take it to the dump.
What's the cost to?
It's free.
It's free.
Yeah, it's free. Yeah,
Well,
you could do it like 3 times a month or something like that, 2 times a month. But they don't keep track. But yeah, and you just go, you pull up, as long as it's not like any kind of harsh chemical or whatever. And but yeah, anyways, that's one of my little joys, and I thought that was kind of weird, but it's one of the things I thought was kind of cool to talk about.
I don't think it's weird at all. I have been to the dump, not as often as you seem to go.
Yeah.
But my stuff is more in the interior. You know, things that I've held on to.
Well, that's a whole other thing with the minimalism. And I think there's a huge value in that too. Just like the shirts you haven't worn, but you haven't gotten rid of in like 10 years.
Right. I'll take those to savers. I don't take them I don't throw them away or take them to the dump. I know somebody will wear them. I had a lot of things from my dad that I thought, I'm going to keep this. And then, 2 years passed and it's still in the same box. And I think someone can use this.
Yeah.
And I get rid of it. And I don't feel bad or sad. It's just something that it's just taking up space. It's not being used. Why not give it a second life?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good one. Now, so mine's a little more on the daily side. That one maybe you go once a month or something, but
Sure.
mine's so growing up, I didn't drink coffee. I don't know why. I wasn't a coffee drinker. Definitely caffeine, but it was Dr. Pepper, it was soda, right? And now
Right.
I really seldom drink sodas, which I'm glad that I stopped that habit. But I started drinking coffee about a few years ago,
Yeah.
right? And I wasn't sure of my order, but I was like, well, I'm going to test it out. And I would try different things. And then probably in the last year and a half, 2 years, I really started digging iced lattes.
The iced latte, is it from that grounded coffee
Well,
place?
that's one of the places. So people are like, yeah, everybody drinks lattes.
Yeah.
That may be true. But yeah, there's a place in Las Cruces. Shout out to them. Grounded. It's a coffee bar downtown Las Cruces. It's got a great vibe. I just love the vibe.
It is super cool. I mean, I went with you a couple of times when we were first working on this podcast, and
Yeah.
the vibe there is super awesome.
Yeah.
Total chill.
Yeah, it's got inside area with some old couches and it's nice. But I like the patio.
The patio's great.
It's got a nice shade. It's got a great view. I almost feel guilty when I'm there
Why?
because, well, I used to work from there sometimes,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
in the summertime. And like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm at Grounded. It's just in my picture, and it's a picture of my coffee and a donut. Right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that must be nice. I'm like, well, yeah,
Working
it is nice.
really hard, right?
Right. And I would write from there for an hour and a half, and then I'd go to the office. But I'd get a nice latte, typically almond milk. Then they got a different plant-based milk, another option. They still have the almond milk. And I started getting that. And when I first started getting lattes, I was getting the vanilla sweetener or hazelnut. And those were good, but sometimes I wouldn't go to Grounded. I'd go through Starbucks or Dunkin'. They're all different. And then I was like, well, these are pretty good, but they're a little sweet. And I remember seeing in a video, this guy says, if you like your drinks with these, flavors,
Yeah.
you don't like coffee, you like sugar.
Oh,
And I was like, yeah, he's right. So I said, I'm going to get used to it without the sweeteners.
right.
And it's just straight iced latte, almond milk, or the other plant-based milk, depending where I'm at,
Yeah.
and then a shot of agave.
Okay.
Most people don't have agave, and Starbucks was the one that turned me on to agave, but Grounded has agave too. And I never thought of putting agave. Some people might think of honey or something, but maybe a year or two ago, I was adding honey to my tea.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I developed a reaction. I never had a reaction to honey.
To
But
honey, really?
yeah, now I get rashes on my neck area.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, yeah, I don't want to go that route because I don't know what's going to happen. So this one person at Starbucks said, well, try agave. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. I was like, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, when I go to Grounded, and they have different baristas. There's one, I'm not going to mention her name because I don't want to make the other ones jealous or anything.
Right.
But I like, so-and-so's there. This is awesome.
Why? She knows how to make it just right, or what?
It's the same order.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, I get it. And now they have better glasses too. I love a
Okay.
good glass.
Man, you're turning into a coffee snob, huh?
Well, this is daily joy now. Keep in mind.
The daily joy.
Because if they give it to me in a go cup, I'm like, you guys don't have any glasses? Ah, they're all
Yeah.
dirty. It's like, it's not the same. I'm
maintenance.
all about the feel, so I like a good glass. And if it's her, she makes it, I'll get it. And I'll do a little pause.
Man. She makes it with love.
And the last time I even smelled it, I held it up to my nose and smelled it, and I took a drink.
Yeah.
And every time, it's like my eyes just roll in the back of my head.
She's probably cute too.
She is cute.
So
she
that's
is
probably
cute.
what it is.
She's
How
cute.
did I know
But she's
that?
really sweet.
You're so transparent.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I asked her, I don't know what you're doing different, but could you please train the other staff? They're just off by like half a shot of agave or like a half ounce of almond milk. I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah.
She didn't quite know either, but man, then I get that and maybe I get a donut or some sort of, bread, some sort of panecito, and I'm sitting in that outside in the patio.
You're vibing, man.
And it's just a bliss.
Yeah.
You know what I pay? $10.
It's well worth it.
Every $12 maybe depending on,
Yeah.
And it's just this nice, simple way to start the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. And I mean, I've been there, like I said, but that place is awesome. I mean, and then Las Cruces vibe in general is just like a lot slower and stuff and just kind of cool. But that grounded place is super, super nice.
Yeah. Now, I can't always get the grounded, and I haven't been there really in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. I still like my latte, and I'll go through Starbucks, and theirs is pretty good too. I'll hand it to them. And what's nice is they actually start to get to know me as I come through.
Yeah.
I mean, it must be a simple order because that's it. I go, yeah, that's all I wanted.
Well, that's part of the experience, right? If they like know you and small talk or whatever,
Yeah, and if you really know me, it's like, do you want a straw? I go, no, just a sippy cup lid, please.
The sippy cup lid. That one always gets me. I'm like, okay.
So I've got my little sippy cup lid, and I'm just drinking out of sippy cup.
You got to come up with a better name than the sippy cup lid.
Well, I don't know what else to call it. I keep it simple. It's a simple joy, as I mentioned.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, so what about you? What's next on your list that brings you some joy to your life?
So one of the things that I enjoy talking about or enjoy doing with my daughter is listening to music, right? But this particular way to listen to music, right, is like as we're driving around and it's just me and her, and she's really into music, right? She's 13 and she's like discovering all this stuff, and then she tells me like, I can't believe you were alive when Kurt Cobain was alive. I'm like, geez, man, am I that old, right? So she'll tell me stuff like that, and like music she's discovering, and so she'll get my phone and she'll play whatever, right? And then as we're getting to the house, she'll be like, "Oh, Dad, this song, like just keep driving so we could listen to it." And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it, right?" And so then, and it happens more often than not. And so as we're already like a block away from the house, she knows we're almost there, and she's like, just keep driving. And I'm like, too easy, right? And I just turn the music up and I just let it play, and I'll just kind of drive around until that song and maybe a song or two else finishes. But we're both kind of enjoying that, and we're talking 3 minutes, maybe 10 minutes at the most. But it's like satisfying for her, and it's satisfying for me because it's just like, it's super cool. Right? Super cool to just gel with your kid like that.
I think that as sort of simple as that is, she's going to remember that.
Oh, yeah. And I didn't do this with my other kids, right? This is like something just like between me and her,
right?
Which is even a little bit more special, as cheesy as that might sound. But I think she really has a love for music.
Mm-hmm.
She really enjoys learning music and playing instruments. And so when we're hitting that song and we know it's about to end, it's like, no, don't make it end. Just keep driving. It's like, easy.
Is there any genre in particular that she likes or y'all like listening together to? Or is there a particular song that maybe you introduced her to and she's like, wow, that was really cool?
So there's one that I really don't like. It's called Midwest Emo. And I had never heard of this genre. And so she would play it, and I have to like beg her, like I have to like tell her like, okay, I'll let you play this like one song, maybe two songs, but I can't take more than that because it's so bad.
Midwest
Emo.
Wow.
And so it's like a guy playing guitar, and he's like literally like, this is a song. This is a really good song. let me tell you about my song. And that's the Midwest emo, right? It's just horrible. I just can't stand it, right? And she just loves it. And so she'll torture me with it. But then there's other music like she turned me on to Chaperone. Chaperone is super amazing. She's this young female singer. And when she turned me on to that music, it was like on my playlist, like as I'm working out, just an hour of Chaperone. And her music is super powerful. So, she has a really eclectic taste, and she's like I said, she's really discovering music. So I'm always down for listening to whatever she has to offer.
No, that's really cool. I think that's going to make some really great memories. And anytime you can get an extra minute or two with a teenager.
Oh, especially, yeah. Like, I'm trying to get a hug from her. That's like pulling teeth, right? She's like giving me the Heisman, and she's like, no, Dad. And it's like no PDA from her for me, right? But now music, yeah, we're cool.
Yeah,
right?
my younger one is like that. Yeah, she'll like tilt her head down because she's got makeup on.
Yeah.
She's like, you can kiss my head.
Oh, my gosh. That's rough.
And I take it. I'm like, okay, all right, I'll kiss your head.
You got to take what you can get.
Yeah,
right?
I know. It's terrible.
That's rough.
Yeah, it is rough. What are you going to do? I don't know.
I'm glad to know I'm not the only one.
No, not at all.
But
speaking of music, as you probably know, and people that hang out with, I love listening to bachata.
Yeah.
I don't know how long ago, 5 years ago, maybe, I don't know more. I had never even heard of the word bachata.
Yeah. A lot of people don't even know what that is.
No. Growing up, I would have never have known what bachata is. Yeah. And growing up, actually, I don't know if despise is the right word. Loathe, I don't know. I just did not like listening to music in Spanish.
Oh,
because my parents listened to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Who wants to do what your parents are doing?
Right. Exactly. And I'm like, I don't, maybe it's because it's part of it's, if my mom's putting on music in Spanish. Earlier today, we were out at this place and they're playing supposedly Jose. So if Julio Iglesias came on or Jose, I knew we're probably going to clean the house.
Oh, that's a little PTSD coming out.
Right. We're going to put on the music. We're going to open up the windows and we're going to clean the house. Right. It was cleaning house music.
Yeah.
And now I have a really deep appreciation for music in Spanish, particularly music that's part of my culture, whether it's Tejano, of course, cumbia to an extent, corridos, mariachi, all that good stuff.
Sure.
But I started listening to bachata at some point, maybe 2 years ago, a lot more or less 2 or 3 years ago, right after the pandemic. And I really like the beat.
Yeah.
It's just.
Well, what is it, like an 8-beat or a 4-beat? Or what is it?
I think it's an 8 because bachata's dance and 8 count. Yeah. But even though most of the songs, like a lot of music, it's about love, whether it's romance or love lost or love that's not returned. But no matter what, it's still very upbeat. It's got an upbeat to it because you can dance to it, right?
Yeah.
And I feel it. I feel that beat better than, let's say, salsa, which is, to me, more complex. Other people don't agree with that assessment, but I didn't grow up listening to salsa, so it's hard for me to hear all those instruments.
Yeah.
But bachata, I can hear it really well. I feel the beat really well. I like the sound of it. I like dancing to it. I like dancing with someone to it. Obviously, It's a couple, but I can practice by myself some things. It just feels good.
So you're just saying that the genre of bachata is like what brings you joy?
Yeah, itself? The genre, listening to it. When I started taking bachata lessons, I don't know, a year and a half ago, classes are on Mondays.
Yeah.
Another shout out, El Paso Barroom Dance Academy.
Right.
Classes are on Mondays. By Sunday, midday, I was looking forward to Monday night.
Wow.
Like, I was like, okay. Well, initially, we've had this discussion before.
Yeah.
There was anxiety because I was so terrible at it.
Well, once you got past all that.
But once I got past it, I was like, okay, I got to work on this move because we're going to have open practice afterwards, and I got to work on this. And I want to improve. And, I'd be at the office, and then I'd leave the office early. Make sure I get there on time, and I just really enjoyed it. It was something, and then maybe there'd be a dance in the week, and I looked forward to that dance the whole week.
Yeah.
Not maybe not as much as like I think about my outfit every day, but I would buy a new shirt or something like that.
Well, you're pretty consistent about going to all those classes and stuff.
For the most part, I've slowed down a little bit because of things get in the way, but I still go and I still plan to go.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about learning dance, and it's still related to the bachata, is when you travel, no matter where you go, it's like speaking that language they're going to speak there.
Yeah.
Like if you go to Mexico, you speak Spanish. You go to Quebec, you speak French. Well, I've been to both places, and I spoke bachata.
Interesting.
And other people spoke bachata.
Yeah.
And I'm going to lead them in that conversation.
Now, was it different? Was there's every, for example, I saw this guy breaking down how two-step is different in all parts of Texas.
Yeah.
So I can imagine like bachata is different in Mexico versus Quebec.
Yeah, well, because bachata from the island, let's give credit to La República Dominicana. It comes from the Dominican Republic. There, the island music is different. It's got a kind of a quicker beat, if you ask me, more for footwork.
Yeah.
It's beautiful and I love it. Whereas other places, it's less like that and more sensual. And so you go to the places, sure, there's some traditional bachata, but the sensual bachata is kind of taken over the international scene.
Yeah.
So it's really big in Spain and places like Czech Republic. You wouldn't think, right? But yeah, so when you go to Montreal or Mexico City, it's very sensual. Okay. It's typically not traditional bachata from the island. Some people are like one camp or the other. I like both.
Okay.
And I think they're both great. But you're right. It's kind of like country. I mean, different parts of Texas. El Paso to Las Cruces is a little different in two-step, right?
Yeah.
El Paso to Albuquerque is a little different. There's some things that I only see in a couple places around there, and I really like it in two-step, but I won't see it anywhere else.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's like an accent, and even English or Spanish, you go somewhere and the accent's different.
Sure.
So that's what's cool about dance and music is you speak the language, you create this great connection, and same thing when I'm driving, I play bachata about 90% of the time.
Do you really?
And I've heard these songs over and over, and when I find a new one, I'll just play it over and over again because I love the song that much. So it just brings me a simple joy. It's free. Other than maybe my subscription that I have to YouTube Music. But, man, it's just, it's brought a lot of joy to my life and joy that I can share with other people as well.
So I had my next one's food, right? But I have one.
We all have a food pleasure, a food joy. So,
this is more of like grilling, right? So I really enjoy grilling, especially like for my kids. But so I like grilling a good steak, but that's a little bit more advanced, so like you have to go and get a good piece of meat and then, prep it and all that stuff. So that's a little bit more, but one of the things that I was thinking of that actually gives me a lot of joy, again, goes back to my daughter again, is, and she surprised me, right? So when I first became single, I'm like trying to learn how to cook well, right? And so then I'm like trying to cook, and then she's like, "Dad, we've been eating the same thing for like a month already."
What were you making?
It was like vegetables and like ground beef. It was just like
a picadillo type deal, or
not even picadillo. It was just literally like vegetables and ground beef. It was just like over and over again, and then I would mix it up with like chicken instead of
like a fancy hamburger helper.
Yeah, if even that. It was just pretty sad, right? And so she was just like, "Dad, you got to learn something else." And I was like, "All right." So we've been working on it. But then one of the things she came home the other day, and so I try to eat a lot of protein and try to eat healthy, and so she goes straight to the fridge and she goes, "Oh, thank God you have blueberries and yogurt." And I was like, "Yeah." And I go, "Do you want me to make you a little protein mix?" And she goes, "Yes." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So what it is, it's I get yogurt, either the little packaged one,
like Greek yogurt.
Greek yogurt.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I get the Greek yogurt, a healthy amount of that, and then fresh blueberries. And I put that on top, and then I put honey, cover it with honey, and then I was putting chai seeds, but then because that adds more protein, but then it was like upsetting her stomach, I think. And then I just mix it up, and she just loves it.
Yeah. Try the agave.
Well, it's the same difference, right? I have agave also.
Oh, okay, cool. I like the chia seed too. I like chia seed in my smoothies and fruit veggie smoothies that I do.
But that one's super simple, doesn't cost anything, real easy to make, real quick, as long as you have it all there.
Yeah.
And then she's like really happy with that. And I'm
do you ever buy frozen blueberries?
I have them, but I always have fresh blueberries.
Okay.
Yeah.
I buy the fresh fruit, and when it's just you, it's easy to forget about them. And then next
I
thing
go
you know,
right through it. I have to get a
well, that's
couple
good.
of packs.
That's
Yeah.
good. Someone told me, and I've read it too, that the frozen vegetables and frozen fruits are just as good, and in some cases maybe even better, because once they pick it,
Yeah.
they process it right away and put it in the packets and freeze it right away.
Right.
So it holds all its vitamins and minerals for the most part, and then you get it, and then but
It probably is. And
whereas the other ones are traveling
yeah.
as they're
And who knows
off,
what kind of
yeah,
preservatives are spraying on them or whatever.
exactly. There's all that too. Not to say that who doesn't love fresh fruit and fresh blueberries. I mean, you do whatever makes you happy, whatever brings you joy, right? This is about bringing yourself joy.
Yeah.
You don't have to overthink it. I'm just saying, if you can't find fresh blueberries or fresh strawberries or even fresh bananas, go to the frozen section. You'd be surprised.
The frozen stuff is good.
Is what's in the frozen section.
Yeah.
Right.
And so if it's not so that's just a small kind of joyful one, and that just kind of popped up recently. But I do like grilling in general. And so like a good piece of steak or even vegetables on the grill tastes so much better. And or even a good hamburger,
Now, you're grilling with gas or
So
charcoal?
I'm a gas a gas guy. I've done charcoal, and charcoal's cool, but it's real messy. And then like spur of the moment, like I could just turn on the grill and then get the grill going. It tastes to me almost just as good, and I have more control of it. I don't know, less cleanup. I'm all about the simplicity.
Yeah. No, I love grilling too. I don't do it as often anymore because it's just me. And you're right. If it's just you or two people, gas is probably the way to go.
Yeah.
It's just quicker and easier. When I would grill for, 3 or 4 of us or more for people, I love charcoal and wood, right? It's just the experience.
There's charcoal masters, right? Like I know people that are like, they're vibing with their charcoal, right?
Yeah.
And they have the levers and they know how to control the temperature and all that stuff, man.
Well, even just to start, man, just to put that charcoal in the what do they call it? The chimney starter,
yeah.
And that whole process. And that takes 30, 40 minutes at least for that charcoal to get, glowing.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes an hour, depends. So it's a whole process.
It is.
I mean, you got to
I don't got
prepare.
time for that.
No, it does. It takes time. And it's a commitment.
And people love the taste, right?
But when I grill, particularly something that will absorb the smoke like fish, to me, you just taste it.
Yeah.
And it's a great taste. But yeah, it's grilling with gas is quicker, easier, and it's still a great product. Don't get me wrong.
Right. Well, I hired a chef to do a private class here, and he showed us how to cook a steak and cook a chicken breast on the stovetop.
Okay.
And man, freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I'm always a little nervous about buying a nice cut of meat like a steak.
Yeah.
Whatever it costs now, and not cooking it well.
Man, that'll really bum me out. So like when I overcook a steak, oh my gosh, right? And not the cost of it, but it's like a waste almost. So like if I overcook it, oh my gosh, it hurts so much.
Well, just the flavor, because you go to a restaurant, you go to a good restaurant, and it's like, well, this is what a good steak to taste
Although going out to eat is so expensive now, so it's great if you could just, do a better job at home.
Totally.
As long as you get the temperature right, or you cook your steak the way you want it.
Right.
And it's a much better experience too, I think.
So my third one is related to, it's related to the whole grilling and cooking thing.
Yeah.
But not so much the grilling and cooking. I like having, if I'm grilling, barbecuing, a cold beer.
A cold beer?
While I'm grilling.
Okay.
And doesn't this sound like crazy? Even two, right?
Yeah.
That sounds crazy, right? But man, when it's kind of hot outside and you're prepping and everybody's inside doing their own thing and you've got your space and...
Well, that's part of the experience, right? Like, so it's usually hot, and then you're standing in front of a freaking hot grill.
Yeah.
And then you just crack open that cold beer. It's like, I hear you.
And then I've got my music on. Now, typically, this is interesting. When I'm grilling, I'm probably not going to listen to bachata. I don't know why that is.
What are you going to listen to?
I like, one of the things I like is Southern rock.
Oh, yeah.
So like Leonard Skinner.
Some Skinnerd.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Leonard Skinner, Simple Man. I love that song.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Petty. Things like that, It's just, I don't know. It's something about being outside.
Well, it's a backyard appropriate, right?
Yeah. I think it is. It's totally backyard appropriate. It's perfect for grilling.
Yeah.
So I like a good cold beer And not even an expensive beer like a Tecate
Yeah.
with,
Plenty of lime.
plenty
and
of
salt.
lime, exactly. And
Those have to
man,
be ice cold, man.
They have to be ice cold. That's
have to.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they just taste so good when you're grilling.
Yeah. One time, not to steal your thunder, but one time I was at a friend's house and they were like remodeling and doing all this stuff, and he was like showing me this really nice pool, that they were redoing. And he goes, "Hey, you want a beer?" And I was like, "Sure." So he like poured me a freaking he had a mini keg there with oxygen, CO2 going into it. And he poured me this ice cold draft beer, right?
Really?
Oh my God. It was like heaven, man. I still remember. That was like 15 years ago.
What kind of beer was it?
I don't know. Just keg beer, right? Just like a Bud Light or something. But it was ice cold in a red Solo cup. Damn. I mean, it was just like heaven, man. I was like, oh my God, this is wonderful. And he goes, yeah, it's the CO2 that I add to it. And I was like, oh man, that's dangerous because then I'm drinking all day long.
Yeah.
And
the thing is, I like a good drink in a glass, not plastic. I'll do it. I'm not going to not drink it.
Yeah.
But the cold beer outside, I want in a can or a bottle.
Yeah.
But I typically like can when I'm grilling by myself.
Now, when I have steak, especially when I have steak, I really enjoy a red wine, a Pinot Noir, like a Cabernet, a Merlot, something like that. But it has.
So now you're sounding high class.
It has to be a red wine, man. And so a girlfriend that I had back in college, so her family loved to go out to eat steak and stuff, and so I was like never used to that, right? So like I went out with them. And then
you're a ground beef guy.
I'm tacos, ground beef, and tacos de papa.
Carnitas and papa con huevo or huevo con papa. Which one do you want?
Steakhouse? I'm like, steakhouse? No. So then I was like eating my steak, and then I was like dipping it in steak sauce, and they're like, dude, like you are like breaking all the rules.
Embarrassed to have you there.
And so they're like, so her stepdad, he's like, Ed, let me show you how to eat a steak. And I was like, okay. And so then he goes, don't dip it in that steak sauce, right? Don't ever do that in a steakhouse. And I was like,
not in a steakhouse, right?
And so then he goes, instead of dipping it in that, drink some wine. Drink some wine with that. And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, try it. And so I had a nice, bit of steak, put it in my mouth. And he goes, now drink some wine and slush it around and let it and I did that, right? And I was like, oh my God, it's so freaking good. And I remember that moment too. And that was, again, 30 something years ago. But it was amazing. It was amazing. And so ever since then, I always have to have wine with my steak.
Wow.
Yeah. You don't have wine with your steak?
I mean, I have, but I don't think that I think about that.
You got to get the right wine.
Yeah.
I used to like really dry wines.
Yeah.
And then I switched to like a medium, like a Merlot or something like that.
Right.
The
See,
Cabernets are
I'm
super
not
strong.
Super knowledgeable on wines. I used to like the sweeter wines, like the Riesling, and then I stopped drinking sweet so much, and so when I had a Riesling, I was like, wow, this is super sweet.
Yeah.
So I really haven't had that kind of wine anymore.
It's real easy. Like it's red meat, red wine, white meat, white wine. That's kind of how I go.
Yeah. So going back to the drink, so a beer when I'm grilling.
Yeah.
Now, you and I are going to do a future episode, if we still recall what it's about, but we did a 40-day hiatus from drinking.
Yeah.
Not even during Lent. It was like right before Thanksgiving.
Right.
And because our buddy JL was doing one for like, I don't know, something crazy like 90 days or something.
Right.
And I told you, I said, hey, we should do a fast as well. And initially, you kind of balked at the idea.
Yeah.
And then we started, and we saw these benefits. And so when I had my first drink was a ranch water.
Right.
At once again, another shout out. We're doing tonight's the night of shout outs. I don't know if I pronounce it right, but I always call it Entrecote. It could be pronounced differently. It's a quote unquote French restaurant in
Mesa,
West El Paso.
Swanky place, yeah.
Very cool place. Beautiful bar, beautiful bartender.
Yeah.
Who always seems to remembers me and
see, I think that's what adds to the flavor is that you have this like really good looking person.
I enjoy the finer things in life. This is about simple joys. But hey, if a beautiful young woman wants to serve you a nice drink that you happen to like, why not?
It should be a requirement.
Well, maybe that's why I go to these places. So she served me my first ranch water that I had in like 40 days, maybe 40 something, because it was in a really nice, like beveled glass, like almost like crystal-like.
Oh, yeah.
which I liked. The bar was great. The ice was really nice. I got, what kind of tequila do you want in this? And what's the one that you have here you turn me on to?
I mean, I have several. The Lalo.
Lalo.
Oh, you asked for Lalo?
Yeah, asked for Lalo.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Wow.
which I like. And I remember it was similar to my latte thing. Like I took a sip, I held that glass and I kind of smelled it a little bit, and I took, swirled it around. I took a drink, and it was like my eyes just rolled in the back of my head, and I was like, "Where the heck's Ed, man? He should be here having a drink with me."
Yeah.
But you took the 40-day challenge to a whole nother level.
I did. Best thing.
That drink was so good.
Yeah.
Now
I remember you talking about that.
I know.
I think I went with you to have one, and it was okay.
Yeah, after a while, it wasn't as good anymore. It was like because you restrained yourself.
Yeah.
And then you had one, and you were able to enjoy it so much more.
Yeah.
Because it's not an everyday thing.
Right.
So I would call this daily joys. I don't drink every day, and I sort of have a beer or any type of drink, any alcoholic drink every day. I'm more of a weekly drinker. But if I'm going to have a drink, if I'm grilling a nice cold Tecate or a Dos Equis Lager. But if I go out, it's been a while, hopefully a good ranch water. Right.
Yeah. You like the ranch waters.
Well, yeah, I do. Tequila is just easier on my body than beer. Some people may be thinking, what, tequila? No, it's just, I process it better. Yeah. It's got, what's called the plant-based ingredients are more natural to my genetics than wheat and barley than beer is, right? So they're just things that I enjoy about
those, it. They sneak up on you, though,
They do.
And you drink it like it's not tequila.
Yeah, you got to be careful. So simple, easy. It lifts my spirits.
Yeah, sure.
No pun intended, but yeah. So those are three things for me. Do you have a bonus item by chance that maybe
a bonus?
Yeah.
So I'm a creative guy, right? And so like creating stuff, like I really like.
You're an artist.
Yeah,
you're an artist.
And so like I like
and
to,
a musician.
Well, more an artist, I think musician, I kind of plateaued, but going to that, I really like learning a new song, right? Like if I'm on my guitar and I learn a new song, or if I like do a painting or a piece of artwork, or even like last year, I was doing a lot of woodworking a couple years ago.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I bought like a really nice miter saw, and I like made my own like horse stands, and I really enjoyed that. I just was always cautious of like losing a finger. And so, but even like working on my home, painting a wall or like just doing some work like that. Like this weekend I switched out a bunch of light switches because they were the old switches. So I just want to get those out. So I guess it's like creating or like working on stuff to like see the end result is like, it's new. Right?
That's nice.
And so those are constant. Yeah. Right? And so even like the podcast, editing the episodes. Mm-hmm. So I get a lot of joy out of like finishing one and then wrapping it up. And then when we finally upload one, it's like, oh yeah, right on. Right. Yeah. Like that gives me like a little spark. Yeah. How about you?
Mine's probably a little simpler. I like, so going back to food, I like crunchy things.
What do you mean?
Well, like chips.
Okay.
Something that is salty and crunchy. I love, like rice cakes or whatever. I like the crunch, but I know I shouldn't eat all that kind of stuff. So it's dangerous. If I buy a bag of chips, they're gone in a day and a half. So I don't even buy them.
Yeah, don't.
Because.
Well, I'm like that with cookies, man. If I have cookies at home, Girl Scout cookies, they're the worst, man. Well, I'll eat the whole damn box.
The problem is, you go to Costco, which I love Costco. Yeah. Another shout out to Costco. They don't need a shout out, but
no, they don't.
You'll buy the whole family pack of chocolates.
They were $5. What was it? Ghirardelli's.
It
was a freaking awesome deal. So I had to get two. One for my little girl, and one for me.
I know, but then
you started eating them.
Well, they're like, here, like, hey, have a chocolate. Okay, and you're like, man, I love these things.
They're so good.
And you think you're just eating, not much because they're little individual packets.
Yeah.
But then you look at the wrappers that you left behind.
Yeah, I gained like 5 pounds, man. I was like, how did I gain 5 pounds? It could have been the Ghirardelli's.
Yeah, you bought a big old packet of chocolates. So I love crunch, right? And I love salty, but I know I can't eat that kind of stuff. And I've always loved popcorn. Like I can just munch on some popcorn. And growing up, we typically just had microwave popcorn.
Yeah.
It was kind of a treat with my mom, and I always thought it was cool. I was a kid. That aluminum pan popcorn,
Oh, yeah.
And it pops.
That's
and
old school. Man.
Yeah, it would fill up the top of the thing, and I was like, man, look, Mom's making popcorn. That's so cool,
Yeah.
And so I think it was during the pandemic. It's like, you know what? I want some popcorn, but I don't want microwave popcorn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make popcorn. I mean, how hard can that be, right? It's not hard. But I never actually made popcorn.
Did you make it?
Yeah, I do it all. I do it regularly now.
Yeah.
I buy the kernels. I either use olive oil or I use coconut oil or coconuts. It's kind of like, it's got the texture of like Crisco,
Oh, yeah.
but it's coconut based.
Coconut oil.
Yeah, and it's just kind of creamy.
Yeah.
And I'll warm that up first, and then I'll put you just put like 3 or 4 kernels in there. That's it. And then when they pop, it's hot enough. Then you can pour the rest in there. Not to cover the whole pan, but about half.
How do you keep them from flying out?
Well, that's when you turn it off because
Oh.
it's already hot. And you turn it off, then you put a cover on. I have a clear glass cover, and you let that sit for a minute, and then you put it back on. About on my stove, it's like the 3 or 4 mark of the little
Yeah.
burner thing,
Right.
and then you just let it start pop, right? And then when it stops, kind of popping a lot consecutively,
Yeah.
like you can hear
There's
the
a
space
pause.
between the pops.
Yeah.
You turn it off and remove it because then you're going to burn them.
Oh, okay.
And then, you can melt some butter, add some butter. I like good butter. Obviously salt, but also like paprika. I can't even say it right.
Paprika, yeah.
Paprika, right? I know what it looks like. I don't know what it tastes like. I love putting that on there.
Okay.
And man,
That actually sounds really good.
I'll eat the whole, and it's a nice sized pot,
Yeah.
and it'll fill up kind of, and I'll eat the whole thing. And I'm thinking, well, it's organic popcorn, usually organic.
Now you're trying to convince yourself.
I just
that
had
it's
salt,
okay.
some salt and butter, which we all need some salt in our system. Nothing wrong with a little salt.
You're total.
I've got good butter and paprika. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. No, that's good. That sounds really good. I got to try that actually.
Yeah, and I'm just happy.
That's cool.
It's
for like movie
joint-
night. Hell yeah.
Well, I didn't say it was movie night.
Well,
I'm just eating the popcorn on the couch, maybe looking at my phone or a magazine or I don't know, passing time. But
Right. No, that sounds cool.
I've even had it for dinner.
Yeah, I had a box of Thin Mints for dinner one time. Just shamelessly, man. I was like, damn, I ate the whole thing. Yep, I sure did.
Thin Mints. Wow. Okay. You weren't thin after that.
Well, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. So these are just some of our simple joys.
Yeah.
I think everybody hopefully has some simple joys. But, sometimes we get not necessarily depressed, maybe a little down, a little cloudy, and you just need a little pick me up.
Yeah. Yeah. Clean stuff out. Go, go do stuff. Listen to music is huge for me. I listen to music all the
Absolutely.
time. I always have to have music.
Yeah.
It's the first thing I do when I come home. So music just playing in the background
Yeah.
is just one of those things.
Yeah.
For me, I have to have it. I couldn't bear to be in a house with no sound.
Yeah. No, when I come to your home, you always have music, and it does feel very welcoming because you've got
Yeah.
it nice and loud. And I was like, that's a nice playlist. And it just feels good.
Sure.
I used to be the kind of guy that, for the most part, it was just when I'm driving, but now I listen to a lot of music when I'm getting ready, trying to set the mood for where I might go. So if it's going to be a Latin social dance and it's bachata, if we're going to go somewhere else, I might play country. Although country is a little downer sometimes, but it's got a good feel to it nonetheless. It's good driving music as well.
Oh yeah, one of the little tricks I heard was listen to comedy like before you go out, so it'll put you in a good mood before you step out the door.
Yeah.
And so I'll listen to on Netflix they have some stand-up comic or whatever, and I'll just play it. And even if I'm not really paying attention to it, I like start cracking up to like whatever thing I hear, and it's like making me in a better mood. And then I'm like, oh, all right, let's go out. Right?
Yeah, totally.
So that's stuff. So you need to find those little things that just kind of boost you.
Yeah.
Because there's enough junk going on in the world. That
Absolutely.
you need to keep going forward.
So, you got any Ghirardellis left?
No, man, you ate them all. No, the Ghirardellis. That was a family pack too.
Well, now you know you got to go back.
No, I don't. They were
That way
good.
they can be here when I come over, but not at my house.
Yeah, my little girl got mad because I ate them all, and then she came looking for them, and she's like, "Where the Ghirardellis?"
Salted caramel.
The salted caramels are favorite.
My goodness gracious, who invented that?
You want a treat? Go to the Ghirardelli factory
In San Francisco.
In San Francisco, man, it's freaking beautiful.
Yeah, well, that's
awesome.
a big treat. That's
It's
a
awesome.
big treat.
They make the best milkshakes there, the best ever.
You like milkshakes too, and root beer floats.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're all about the simple joys of life.
Man, that's all the sugar, man. Diabetes waiting to happen, man. It's
Wow. You gotta mix it up. So,
all right,
anyway.
This was a good episode.
So, to all our listeners, once again, thanks for tuning in to TVT BroTalk. And hey, vatos, remember, pónganse trucha.